Welcome to day 227 of the 300 Movie Challenge. Today we watched the highest grossing film of April 2013, which was Oblivion.
Appropriate delivery.
Well, because, okay,
Wait. I want to preface this by saying
Okay.
that it took forever to find the movie in the first place.
Oh,
Oh
yeah, there's
yeah.
a lot of movies with Oblivion in the title. But, so I'd heard that I knew this movie existed. I knew it had something to do with, like, Tom Cruise and aliens destroyed the world or something. Like, that's some kind of thing about how I knew. I didn't know anything past that. Well, actually, no, that's not true. I did kind of know one of the twists because it was in one of those, like, you know, best twist, like, compilation things I saw,
Oh, I
which is a
see.
dumb thing to see, but whatever. Um,
Mm.
this was always a movie that was, like, in the very back of my mind of, like, I kind of want to see this, but it was, like, really low priority. So
Mhm.
when I saw this movie was actually on the list, I was like, oh, okay, good, I can actually see it. And then I hoped that it was good because from what I checked, like, the Metacritic score and stuff, it's just kind of like, okay. So I was like, I hope I like it. And I do, but I don't know how much yet. Because it's kind of weird.
It's
Weird
pretty.
is a good way to put it.
It's very pretty, and the effects are very nice and everything.
Yes.
But
Mhm.
I'd really
I,
like the what do you call it? The difference showing like the nice like fancy like shiny polished technology with like the really
The gritty
screwed up,
technology.
yeah,
yeah,
for like the earth or whatever. I like that
Mhm.
superposition. So I like that. um and the soundtrack I think actually works pretty well here too.
mm,
So because I remember actually we totally forgot to mention, I forgot to mention this in the Die Hard discussion, but because we too gave a shit. But one thing I did actually want to mention was that I felt like the music in that was like trying too hard to be epic.
yeah,
Whereas this, I
Ugh.
like it felt appropriate in what it was trying to do, and also it helped
Ugh.
like accentuate the emotions and stuff like that. So I like that, and I can definitely say I was interested in this story, and that like I was curious to see where it was going to go. What
but
I don't know. Okay, because like a lot of honestly for me anyway, most of the twists in this I could see coming.
yeah.
Mhm.
So, but
I
again, I
kind
would
of
argue
feel like
that's
we've seen things like this before, kind of, if that makes sense.
yeah,
Like,
kind
even
of.
within our 300 movie challenge and everything, I'm like, this feels familiar to, like, something else. Like, I can't pinpoint which
I
movies
know
it
what you
feels
mean.
familiar to,
Mhm.
To me, in
but
terms of like the atmosphere, it kind of felt like I Am Legend, but a little bit more like I Am Legend was more depressing, while this was more like just strange.
yeah.
Mhm.
But it kind of did a similar thing where it focused on like, you know, really slow moments of establishing mood and like stuff like that, right? So if
Mm.
Yeah.
anything, like because this movie's 2 hours long, but it felt pretty dang slow.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, do I think that, and I think that helped in a lot of scenes, but at the end of the day, it still felt like I was watching this for a long time. So
Mm.
It's not good if you're sick.
yeah. But it's just like, yeah, this is a hard one to talk about. I kind of feel like, in terms of talking about this, like, kind of how if I remember feeling about Book of Eli,
Mm.
because
That's
that
kind
was,
of what I gather too.
yeah, kind of
Yeah.
similar type of environment, and where I'm kind of like not totally sure how to think about it exactly.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's because for example, there are some like weird, awkward moments, but like, and I kind of mentioned this during the movie. I was like, when because I was like, this is awkward, and I was like, I think that's the point, and like, it is the point. I'm pretty sure for like
I think
sometimes,
so.
but again, it's like,
Yeah.
but it is still awkward. So it's hard to, and there are a few plot things where I'm like, wait, why did that
Yeah.
work the way it did? So I don't know like how much I should say in terms of like spoilers and stuff though at this point.
I mean, you can make a spoiler section. We've done that
Yeah,
before.
I know. I'm just trying to think like what can I say before that.
Okay, one thing I found very interesting was, or no, that is also a spoiler.
Yeah, there's a lot of spoiler stuff for this.
I thought about it and I was like, wait. Yeah, that's a spoiler. Never mind.
It's not bad.
It's not bad.
I don't think any of us think it's bad. It's kind of like mixed to good, but it's like how good kind of. So I'd say
I
if you're
guess,
curious, you might as well watch it. But
Yeah, I mean, like, for me personally, I'm not really into the whole, like, post-apocalyptic, futuristic sci-fi thing.
mm,
So, me being sick and then me being exposed to, like, a genre I don't really care for, I was a little bit bored at some points. There were points where it was engaging, but the points, like, in between, I was kind of, like, I was kind of focusing on the fact that I can't breathe properly right now.
Oh,
So, I guess, like, yeah, it's kind of like, yeah, like what you said with Book of Eli, where there are points where it is pretty engaging, but then the not
There are
engaging
some
parts,
really slow.
yeah.
mm.
I kind of agree with that too. I guess spoilers.
I guess yeah. It's just this
Here?
is really hot word to think about.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
The one thing that I had a thing about is, how did the aliens create technology perfectly suited for like human beings
Well, see, I think
and stuff?
the idea, and again, this is something that I thought was actually really cool, was because when they at the end when it shows what happened when they like went into the alien ship for the first time, right? They actually like a lot of the dialogue that they use there is dialogue that was then reincorporated into the whole like setup on Earth, where it's all about like the mission and like is the team working well together, and like there was some kind of terminology that was like, oh, this is like came up a lot previously, because like one thing like in the stuff near the beginning that like where a lot of stuff becomes awkward is like they repeat a lot of phrases that are like the same like over and over, and those phrases were actually used when they were coming up on the ship. So it's like, oh, that's actually clever in terms of like the aliens could kind of like are like seeing like, hey, what are these guys talking about, how do they work, what do they do, right? And so then I could see them kind of incorporating that also into the technology and stuff like that as well. So like that I thought was actually pretty clever and interesting. And then
Yeah, the cloning aspect is pretty interesting, just as a concept and stuff.
yeah, well, see, once they like showed that there was like another like craft coming down river, I was like, it's gonna be another version of him, and it was. So again, that's the thing where like I could. There's so many like all of the twists I pretty much was like the only one that I was like I thought was gonna happen was I thought like the woman the not Asian one forgot her name. I thought she was like straight up like an alien kind of android or something, kind of like how like the
You didn't
mission
think that
control
she was
person
also
was.
a clone.
Yeah, I just but that was like early on at the very beginning. I thought that once again they reviewed that Tom Cruise was a clone, then I'm like, okay, then that means all of she is too, I'm sure. But yeah, there was that, and then what was the other thing? I guess it's like the other thing is that the fact that like, we kind of feel like we mentioned this for something. Was probably just during our whole signs rant, but just the idea that like again the aliens can come to Earth, but then they like and can take out the water basically for energy, but then like, oh, here's like the one little pocket of resistance left. Let's just send 3 drones and like that's it. And it's like, really, like I feel like you could have done a lot more damage than just that. So There's a few things like that, and then also, I don't know how to feel about the whole ending thing where Tom Cruise and Julia, they're like, Julia kind of says that like we'll both go to the thing, we'll both deliver the bomb, we'll like die together or whatever. And then he like quote unquote tricks her and doesn't do that. I don't know how I feel about that.
I felt a little bit uncomfortable with that.
Yeah, because it's like I felt at first I'm like thinking, why would doing this like help his chances?
Yeah.
Right? Because I mean, he didn't even bring her anyway, right? And you'd think like, wouldn't the drones like notice that? But okay, fine. So I felt it was kind of a weird decision already. But then when he like went against him, like this feels weirder that he didn't do it then. So, but then again, the fact that like, but then I guess there's like a clone of him that she could love. But I'm like, wasn't the whole deal is that his person 49 or whatever was like, he was the one who got the books, he was the special one or something. So it's like, I don't know, like it's I can't say I don't like it. I'm just like, it's a strange decision, and because I know there's like people tend to think of characters on the guise of like, he didn't do the thing that I would do, that makes him a bad character. And it's like, well, no, because people have different personalities and different motivations, but it's just a strange decision. And I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's
especially he wasn't even sure if 52 would even like come.
Well, yeah, exactly. So that was kind of the thing where it's like, it seems like, here's the thing we can do, and it's like, okay. Actually, complete side note. When he first like went to see, there's like another guy or whatever, right? And he tells Julia to like wait there, right? I was just thinking like, why? What does she have any reason to wait there for?
Yeah.
Because even I find this, and I was thinking about this, like, wait, this is really common, where like, one character tells like another character like wait here, and then they go do something, and it's like, but literally, why should they wait there?
Why wouldn't you want reinforcements?
Especially since usually when they wait somewhere, they get captured.
Well, that, or like, because sometimes it's to like, I guess the justification is like, we need someone to guard something. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
But, like, there's literally nothing for her to go with the ship. I mean, like, why would they care about the ship? And, like, what could she do if they tried to do something with the ship anyway? Like...
Yeah.
So, it's just small things like that are, like, in the way, and it's like... I don't... this movie's weird to talk about. It's like... I do like it overall, but there are some... There's weird things and some stuff that's just kind of like, wait a minute. And... that brings it down somewhat, but I don't know how much it brings it down, so...
Well, I guess, for a long time, I wasn't really sure how to feel about, like, the wife, like Julia, because I wasn't sure if I didn't like the fact that she was there, or if I didn't like how she was treated by the other characters.
That's true, too.
And I kind of feel like now I didn't like how she was treated by the characters. Like, because of the ending, first of all, and then, like, because of the British woman. And just the fact that she's always being, like, told to, like, wait there, even though she, like, destroyed one of the drones when it, like, came to off the British lady. So I'm just like, okay, she evidently knows her stuff.
Especially since she was on the original team and stuff, too.
Yeah, and... like, I felt like whenever she was there, I was watching and I was always like engaged, but at the same time I was like, I don't know if I like this, and I don't know if it's because of her or if it's because of how she's being treated by the story.
Yeah, I feel like she's not useless, right? So she's not like that.
Not.
But it's like it's kind of the next step where it's like, you're somewhat useful, but based on the scenario that you've set up, you should be more useful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
she's
not.
kind of being benched, and she's kind of being fridged without like being dead.
Yeah, and again, I
basically.
think part of that, like that decision near the end kind of handles that more, because it's like that was like a decision she actually made that helped the story, and then they just ignored it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Yeah.
So I think in the end I'm like I side with Julia, and I don't like how she was treated.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing is, like, very, I don't know, like, early, but especially when, like, I guess the main twist of the, you know, the thing in the sky was the aliens or whatever, like, once that was revealed, I was like, okay, Tom Cruise is sacrificing himself to destroy that. I
Yeah.
knew that was going to happen, you know, from, like, halfway in. So when
It was a
he...
matter of just waiting.
Yeah, and so it's like, how is this gonna work? And, like, you know, and then, but then when she suggested it, I was like, oh, okay, that is kind of a different angle. And again, it still feels kind of weird that she would suggest to do that in a sense, but like, because that's another thing. Like they build up like, oh, you know, they were, you know, I guess it says husband and wife, but then like in the flashback thing to what happened on the ship, she had a different last name, so maybe they were like engaged or something. Whatever. But they definitely should have focused more on like how they interacted with each other,
Yeah.
because they
I feel
didn't
like
really do that.
Yeah.
Because then it would have made maybe the connection, like, and also her decision to do that at the end, like, that would feel a bit stronger, because
You didn't really get much of a dynamic between the two.
no, they weren't bad, but they just and the stuff that they did do was okay, but they just didn't
Yeah.
do that much. So
I feel like what it is that like she kind of carried the emotion a bit more, and then he just carried the angst.
yeah,
Since you know he's like having these visions about her, and then he's like, "Oh, this is the woman that I've been seeing," and then she's like the one to provide the memories and be like, "Oh yeah, this is where you proposed to me and stuff," and then he's like, "Ah, cool,
Cool.
let's angst some more."
And then they have a child.
yeah, that's
Oh my
came out
god!
of nowhere.
Well, I'm just like, when
Yeah,
was
that
she always pregnant? I don't know.
yeah.
That
I
was
mean,
a very long pregnancy.
I know, right? Just like right the
That
whole time.
sucks.
So that baby like was already like, you know, 50, 60 years old.
Oh my god.
Oh Jesus.
Oh, gee. God, her hormones must be fucking crazy.
That poor kid.
Already in menopause.
That's a thought experiment in terms of like, you know, planning for the future of, you know, space travel or whatever. It's like, how do embryos react to medically induced sleep comas for decades?
Make sure no one is pregnant.
Yeah, well, because that's the other thing is the whole like, I don't think they would let, you know, an engaged couple go on a mission together.
No.
Yeah.
And then of course there's the whole thing where it's like, oh yeah, this totally happens in 2017, haha. But I mean, that's just such a common thing at this point that they always, you know, fucking with the dates. Then again, the thing is though, this was made in 2013, so I'm like, they think you would have picked a slightly later date than just 4 years
Yeah,
after this came
instead
out.
of like 4 years later.
I actually know why. This is based off of an unpublished graphic novel.
Oh.
Oddly
Wait,
specific.
then how did they find out about this unpublished graphic novel?
I only saw it at the very top of the Wikipedia page, but I don't know the origin story of this.
Okay.
But yeah, it was just
Oh, yeah, it's because it was directed by the guy who was made the graphic novel.
oh, there we go.
Well, there you go. Okay, that does work.
There we go. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Sound logic.
Yeah.
I was like, how else would the novel?
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute. But yeah, I'm looking at it now. It says, Oblivion received mixed reviews. Cruise's performance and the visual effects were praised, while the reception of the plot was mixed. And I'm like,
Oh.
yeah,
well,
the
there we
reception,
go.
our reception of the plot was indeed mixed. So
We followed the statistic.
yeah.
For once.
So yeah, again, I would say like, if you're interested, again, like I said this before, if you're interested it's worth at least seeing once. I don't think I'm going to see it again, but I do think overall even if you're talking about it and kind of fleshing out some of my problems a little bit more, I do overall think it's positive for me, but I think it especially, like, just kind of the visual, like, scale of things helps with that a lot.
Yeah.
And again, the soundtrack
Very
kind of on top
pretty
of that.
movie.
Yeah, so I think that's pushing it over even just, like, thinking it's okay, but, like, I at least for me, I don't feel like this was a waste of time, or that, like, you know, I felt like, am I glad that I saw it? Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so, I mean, it's the best movie of the year so far, but that hasn't been very hard, so.
I mean, that'll
The
change.
previous two movies.
Yeah.
Our
I'm
truth
sorry.
story from last month was more engaging.
Yeah, so that was that. Is there anything else to say? I feel like I feel like I have something more to say, but I can't word it. So
I don't think so.
okay. What's next? I forgot. Oh, that's next.
Oh,
That'll probably bump the Oblivion from best movie.
Well,
yeah.
we'll see.
Oh, that's true, considering how the last one went.
Yeah, I've heard.
I
I've
kind of
heard
remember
things.
a few things from this movie.
I've heard things, and I've heard things on both sides to varying degrees. So
Okay.
we'll see.
I guess it's a toss-up then.
We'll see.
Okay.
So we'll
Cool.
see tomorrow.
Bye.
Hey, bye.
Bye.